beautiful tomorrow, shining at the end of every day. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow's just a dream away. Man has a dream, and that's the start. He follows his dream with mind and heart. And when it becomes a reality, it's a dream come true for you and me. So there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, shining at the end of every day. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away.
Everybody knows every Walt Disney World Day starts with rope dropping, and here are all the rope droppers for today's event. It takes a certain kind of psycho to rope drop for Imagineers, right? Yeah. These are my people. I love it. Guys, let's have a fun day today, right?
Absolutely.
Wow, it's going to be so awesome to learn all this new stuff. I have met so many unbelievable folks here this week. Hey friends, Brickey here with a bit of a different video for you guys this week. I'm going to have an amazing day, and I decided that I wanted to take all my friends on this day with me because today is the day that we are celebrating Space Mountain turning 50. Also, we're celebrating New Tomorrowland. And the best part about it is I've been invited by my friends at WDWNT to be one of their hosts, interviewing Imagineers, talking to them about their creations, talking to them about the world of art, design, Disney, architecture, all the things that I nerd out on. I thought, hey, why not turn today into a vlog? I typically don't vlog on the channel. We do all these history videos. You know the deal. The heart, the art of the parks. We study Disney's past so we can better predict its future. So just a quick heads up so that I can properly set expectations. This is somebody else's event. I am a performer there, and no way today am I going to show you the entire interviews. So this is a behind the scenes look at when I do one of my speaking gigs, when I get asked to go out and do interviews and all that type of stuff, host panels and whatnot in the art world, which is kind of a thing that I do. I have been the MC and host of DesignerCon since 2016. Way back when it was in Pasadena. Then we moved to Anaheim, right outside of Disneyland. And this past year, we had our first year in Las Vegas. So there's a whole other part of my world where interviewing creatives is kind of my thing. And I like to think that I've gotten pretty good at it. So what do you say? Let's do something a little bit different on the channel. Let me take you all with me on an unbelievable and very bizarre Walt Disney World day. Sound good? Awesome. Brickey here. Today we're celebrating 50 years of Space Mountain and New Tomorrowland. I mean, well, New Tomorrowland's not 50 years old, but it didn't roll off the tongue. This podcasting space that they have is so awesome. I've been using this as my office since I've been in town, working here at the table. This is an unbelievable space, and it's just one of many rooms that they have in their offices. I could do a lot of damage with one of these. So every speaking event or stage event always begins with waiting. Waiting is the biggest part of entertainment, which is why all rock stars get into drugs, because too much downtime.
Tomorrow. Reinventing what the future is in Disney parks around the world, and really culturally around the world. And so that moving target has continued to move for Imagineers over these 50 years of what tomorrow Space Mountain can become a reality. But in that time, of course, Imagineer John Hench. And you may not get that opportunity unless the people move.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Come on, let's wake up. Let's get it going. There we go. Let's make some noise for our guest today. Let me get situated here. Are these microphones turned on? Are we good to go?
They're on.
All right.
So the people that are educators they have this amazing opportunity.
We're good. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed it. There's a full day of programming ahead, and all of these folks are so awesome to talk to. If you see them around, definitely make sure you ask them a question because they love to talk all the shop that they did. Thank you guys. I'll see you later on. All right. First panel down, got to talk to 3 of the gentlemen that worked on Space Mountain. Really fun to talk to these guys. And, you know, one of the things that's kind of interesting that I've noticed from interviewing people, when you work on something iconic, when you're doing it, you don't know that you're building an icon, right? It's just a job. You're just putting in your work and hoping that you do the best job possible. So it's kind of interesting to put people like this on the spot because we all look at this as this magical thing that now exists that at one point was just a project that they were working on. I'm back. Crazy day. But yeah, it's just interesting to think about when you're working on something, you have no idea what the scale of that project will be long term. So when you reverse engineer things, there's sort of a romanticism, there's a hindsight that you don't have on your way up the mountain. You can only see that once you've gone down on the other side of the mountain. We could use the mountain metaphorically here. I think it works. Hey friends, if you're enjoying today's behind the scenes look at my trip out to Walt Disney World, I have been putting up daily vlogs just like today for my Magic Brickey holders. So if this is something you're interested in and you want to support the channel and get some exclusive content like my Hidden Brickeys vlog series, it's a great time to join the channel. Just go over to the home page of the YouTube channel and click where it says join, and I cannot wait to see you in members only live streams and enjoying exclusive content like the Hidden Brickeys vlog series. Now back to today's video. I'm so happy you're here. So Ron, you had a great story about the foundation of Space Mountain.
Yes, it actually wasn't the foundation. It was the compression ring.
Oh, yeah.
That's up in the center on the top of Space Mountain. And all the concrete panels later were laid in place and they fit in compression on that ring. And the engineers had calculated that there would be 162 concrete trucks required for that total pour. They had 2 superintendents that decided to have a bet as to which side could be finished first. And one of the guys did win, and the bet was a case of beer for each man. Celebrations ensued afterwards. Engineers were scratching their heads because there was like 5 or 6 concrete trucks left over, and they were sure that they had calculated just the right amount. Well, later on, after the concrete cured and we peeled away the formwork, we found great big voids where the concrete had not worked its way down in through the rebar. And we had to go back to the engineering calculus board and figure out how we're going to solve this. They ended up doing it, and it was they basically injected a special concrete mix into all those voids that solved the problem. And then they continued then with laying in the panels that created the dome for Space Mountain.
I love that Space Mountain was such a technical marvel, and they still had to figure out how to compensate for a case of beer. So real quick, while I have you, explain to us what the compression ring does and why it had to be one continuous pour like that.
Because concrete, you would think would blend itself automatically, but when you have separate pores, there can be fissures or cracks. And like I said, this is compression ring. So all of those 70, 80 concrete panels, they're like pie-shaped wedges, were exerting all that pressure on that concrete ring on top. So you had to just continually pour the same concrete so it all blended and there would be no cracks from all of the pressure that was created.
So that creates where there's no movement, no shifting, and keeps like the compression solid, I guess.
It's another form of mechanical attachment without actually creating a physical attachment. Wow. Those are laying in place.
Wow.
But they're compressed into place.
That's awesome. This is why today is awesome, because guys like Ron are explaining to me the importance of the concrete foundation of Space Mountain, as well as this was the man who finally explained to me what it means to have a pressurized track. But to see that, you need to watch the video. Okay. Let's get into this. So this video is going to take a turn, and some of you might not like the turn that this video is taking, but this is what happens when I vlog. I don't do fakeness. I don't do lying very well. Like, I am a brutally honest person, and today has taken a little bit of a turn on what I thought I was doing. And part of vlogging, which makes it interesting, is that you don't really know the story until you live the day, unless, you know, you're calculating your day. So friends, this is what I have been able to do. I have spent hours, not minutes, I've spent hours sitting in a room, not speaking too much or often at all, but I spent hours sitting in a room listening to Imagineers talk shop. Just talk shop about what it was like back in the day, what their jobs were like, swapping war stories, and let me tell you, what a room to be a fly on the wall in. And from my other side of my career, in the design world, entertainment world, I've had to sign NDAs with like every studio, okay? So I can't tell you the stories that I heard. And I will never tell these stories in a video, because that's a break of trust and that would be a very lame thing to do. But what I learned today, which I think is very important for what I do on this channel and the mission of Hey Brickey, is I have learned context, a lot of context about the golden age of Imagineering, the legacy of Walt Disney, how leadership and collaboration was passed down. And I've heard stories about Ray Bradbury, who is the author and sort of a bit of the creative mind behind Spaceship Earth. Phenomenal. I heard stories about being in meetings with Jim Henson. Unbelievable. Mike Eisner, Frank Wells, like all these people that are different chapters in documentaries about Disney or Wikipedia entries to our generation. These were colleagues and real people to these people. So to be able to sit there and listen to these conversations, I have learned a lot. I've learned so much that will be applicable moving forward in so many different ways on the stories that I tell on this channel, even though I will never tell any of the stories that I just heard. And then it kind of dawned on me, you know, I'm no hero. Disney doesn't need my silly little channel, but I take it very seriously. And I have my own mission statement, my own style guide that I create from. And the thing that I learned today is that I have the ability with this channel and with the community that I'm building and the content that I'm building to keep some of that legacy alive. And sure, from times I still do cover new things, and I love predicting where the park's going and all the different transformations that we see happening. But for the history part of Hey Brickey and how we look back, today was a masterclass, an absolute masterclass on kind of the real note of how these people saw their career and what they were doing. And that is something that will stay with me and with this channel for a very, very long time. So, you know, I'm sure people would love for me to rattle off a couple of stories or hold up a camera and do all this, and it would be rude and it would be intrusive, but all I can tell you, and like I said, I hope that this is still entertaining for some of you all, and kind of the reason why I don't vlog is you can't control the day or where it goes. But I will just tell you that what I learned today will be such a foundational building block for this channel from this day forward on. because I already have my own personal experiences of being a designer, being an artist, illustrator, working with Disney, both directly with the company and as an independent contractor. I already have my experience from being a host of a design podcast and interviewing over, 1,000 different creatives. So I come to all of this understanding the world of art, design, architecture, storytelling. But to listen to the short form conversation, knowing what I already know and being able to put the pieces together, today was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Most importantly, and this is something that I urge to everybody in this video, listen to older people when they speak. I don't want to call them old guys, because I'm officially an old guy. But listen to older people when they speak. Like, if you are so lucky right now that your grandmother or your grandfather is still alive, sit down at the dinner table and ask them questions. But do yourself a favor. Speak to that oldest person that you know, and don't just speak to them. Ask them questions, and you will never, ever regret it. And one of the big takeaways today is there's a lot of these folks that are worried, does the new generation still care about our generation, their generation? Or do young people today think that they have it all figured out? And I've loved being a podcaster and being able to interview so many people because I love having permission to just ask whatever question for, the next hour, 2 hours. And you have to do that in your personal life. You have to ask older people, like, what was this like? Or what were you doing there? Like, my wife, for example, her grandfather, Vince, was the man. He was a fire chief for Buffalo, and every time I'd see Vince, I'd be like, what's going on, man? What's going on, young man, is what I would say, and just sit down and ask him questions, and just like, the guy just blew my mind because we basically lived in two different versions of the world and definitely two different versions of America. So today was one of those days where, as much as I like to talk, I knew to shut up, speak when it was my turn, laugh at all the jokes, enjoy all the jokes. Today was a real humbling learning experience for me, and things are going to be different moving forward from this education that I learned. And I guess what makes Disney interesting, it's like, why did I pick this topic to put so much of my life into and my time investment? And when you come to an event like this, and you see these gentlemen and lady who are I'm going to guess they're probably 60s into their 70s. This was their life's work, They built these projects out of passion and a pursuit for passion. And in return, these projects created unbelievable memories for all of us. Like, all of us love the parks because of the memories we have, riding rides with the people that we love, with best friends, with people that are no longer here with us. And that shared experience makes magical days like today, where whether you're one of the Imagineers or the people in the audience that are the hardcore Disney fans that, pay for events like this and support communal events like this, or whether you're WWNT and their staff, and you come up with the wild idea of, if we throw a party about the 50th anniversary of Space Mountain, and we have 8 historic Imagineers come and visit, will people show up? And they did. For a long time, when I didn't live in a city that had a Disney park, I just thought Disney parks were a place where you go on vacation. And I've constantly been amazed, ever since I took my first stroll down Main Street, USA, that it is a place for vacations. It is a place where people go once in their lifetime. But there also is a deep-rooted community that lives inside of the parks and inside of the company. And for me personally, one of the reasons why this is where I create is because Disney is about art and culture. It is about nostalgia. It is about America's great history. It is about entrepreneurial. It is about entrepreneurial. It is about starting your own business. But it's also about community. And it's a deep rooted community, and it's a passionate community. And for me, getting involved in Disney was getting involved in something where a lot of the story's been told, but there's a lot of story that lies ahead. It's rich in its history and it's rich in its future. And the best thing is people love it passionately and debate it passionately, just as if it's sports. So for me, Disney is one of those weird cross sections of Americana where art, design, storytelling, community, entertainment, and that sports feeling of my team versus your team, old Disney versus new Disney, politically correct Disney versus Disney of yesteryear. Like, I love the debate. I love that this thing means something to everybody else, something slightly different to everybody, because everybody loves it in their own way. And it'd just be a small, small pixel in the overall picture of this great, great big story that we're living through right now. It's a fun place to be. And I'm happy that you showed up. I'm happy that you watched the videos. And I'm just so everly grateful for a day like today. So big thanks to Eric and Tom for bringing me out, having me be a part of this spectacular event. And just thank you that I have enough common sense to know when to shut up my big mouth and just sit on a couch and just be like, if I act like I'm not here, they won't recognize me. And I can just listen to the conversation. And it will inform the way I make decisions and the way that I continue to tell my own interpretation of the Disney story. And it is truly an honor that anybody shows up and anybody cares to go on this trip with me. So friends, definitely a very different video and maybe not the ending that you were looking for. And you're fine if this is a bum out and you stopped watching 5 minutes ago. I get it. It is a bit self-serving, but this is an honest breakdown of one of the most memorable Disney days I've had, and I've had a lot of them. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much to all my Magic Brickey holders for helping make today's video and this trip possible. I appreciate you all. Good things to come.
Temperature to 375.
Temperature increased to 375.
Look at that. It even talks back.
Reminds me of certain people I know.
Yeah, right, Dad. We ended up microwaving frozen pizzas.
Well, there's no need to worry about the turkey this year. Not with an oven that would do anything your father tells it to.
Maybe by then ovens will read our minds. But hey, as long as we're all here and happy and together for the holidays, who cares if I burned our Christmas turkey?
I do. I'm starving.
Big, beautiful tomorrow, shining at the end of every day. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow is just a dream away. Man has a dream, and that's the start. He follows his dream with mind and heart. And when it becomes a reality, it's a dream come true for you and me. So there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, shining at the end of every day. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away.
That is the type of fan insanity that I love.